Alright, for today's build I thought, well, considering we have the McLaren Technics set already, this is quite a reasonably old set these days. It can do the gull wing doors opening up, get the people in and out, and flick the switch across, and the boot or bonnet, whatever you want to call it, opens up, and then inside, when the car drives, you can see down there the V8 engine, pistons going up and down, and it's got the differential set up in it, steering, the front bonnet opens up as well. So I figured, as soon as we have this set, which is quite nice little set, I also have the old V-dub chassis rail which I have to make up again. I thought, oh, he's falling right in there. As soon as we have this set, I thought I'd give the new Technics 41-123 set a go and see how much it compares to the old McLaren set that we've got here. I can't remember the set number for the green one. I do have the book, but I haven't gone and had a look at it. You can actually open up these and you can see the inner workings of all the gearing and all that sort of stuff to get it driving on both sides. So you can actually check to make sure everything's still working in there. So everything opens up. You can get into the front there and have a look. You can see all the steering working in the front here. So it's quite a functional little setup. I don't know if this other set is going to have any of that sort of functionality. It's certainly not as expensive as what that one was. And that green one's quite a solid little setup. So this is the 42-123 set, McLaren Senna, and well, it shows that the doors are opening here, so I don't know if that's just a lift open one or if it's a driven one. The piston's going up and down in here, 32 centimeters long, so it's a little bit longer than a ruler. Probably it's a little bit longer than what the box is, so it's not going to be as big as the green one. And yeah, doesn't really have much more information on the side of the box. So apparently a top speed of 200 miles an hour or 322 kilometers an hour. So we'll see. It says a 4-litre twin turbo V8. So we'll have a look inside here and see what we come up with. Alright, getting into the box first. Oh, it's one of these push-in ones, so you've got to destroy the box to get into it. I like the ones where they just have the seal. With the seal you can actually just get in there. That's why you've actually got to damage the box to get in. Not always impressed with that sort of style. This will be a another time-lapsed video, so you don't have to sit there and watch me put everything we piece together. Oh, wow. There's bag 2, bag 1, bag 3. Oh, bag 1. This is going to be an interesting build. There's a lot in here. That's another little bag 3. There's the wheels. So that gives you an idea on the size difference between the two sets. Slightly different, smaller wheels. So it's not going to be, definitely not going to be as big as the green one. Wheels over there. A little one for bag 2. And oh, look at this. That's the empty box. Oh, stickers galore. So it's not already printed one, so we're going to put the stickers on. That's going to be fun. And the book, wow, that's a thick book. Not still a fair bit of pieces into it, sort of thing, so I don't know if it tells how many pieces are on it. No. Nope. Nowhere on the box does it say how many pieces are in it. So stand in front of the book, how to measure things. Oh, straight into it. So no story with this one. Any story in the back about the car. There's some pictures. Oh, you can get a lighting kit for this one. Sort of see the car there. It's a nice looking build. I've got this one. The reason I got this one is when I picked it up, the back end just looks really intricate. So there's a fair bit going on with this one, so it's not just a little flat back car and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's going to be an interesting car to have a look at once it's finished up. And it's got steering by the looks of it. On the top here there's steering, so you can steer it from the top. Just have to go through and see what we get to make out of it, sort of thing. So I'll start off, of course, bag one. Bag one's going to give us the chassis rail, bag two, the back end of the car, and bag three, the front end of the car and the finishing off touches. So I'll have to get rid of bag two, and little bag, get rid of bag three. And we got some, this is interesting, something I've not seen before, but the Lego I'm used to, these are always hard, these Technics parts, but these ones are actually flexible. And they're the bits for the front of the cab here. They make the curved part of the cab, so all the rubberized parts are in one bag, so we can just stack the tyres up over here. Right. And these bits over here, put them in there, they're out of the way. Right, so getting into bag one. I haven't seen any people in this one. In the old days you used to be able to get the proper Technics people, but I don't know if they do them anymore. So you got the these ones actually move every limb, the foot moves, they can sit properly, the hands, arms, everything pivots around the head. Absolutely brilliant these ones were. You can fit them into any of the larger Technic sets. I think I've got these ones maybe with a helicopter, and yeah, I like these ones. Very much bigger than a minifigure. A minifigure is only about the same size as the body and the head. That includes the entire lot. So, but these ones you can actually fit into the proper sets and have them sitting, doing things. But they don't seem to come with them anymore. So we'll see how we go. I don't know why they do this. They put a bag with a bag and then a couple of bags on the inside as well. I'm not too sure what's going on there, but it's an interesting new part. Nice. Yeah, it's going to look like it's going to be a reasonable set, this one. And some people say you can, a good part out set, there's plenty of bits in here. Oh, these are all just those pieces, just the actual blocking pieces. We can put them off to one side here. And then we've got some gearing in here and the other Technics nuts and lockouts. them like that. Give that as a good pump. There we go. I've already found it spotting there. Make sure I don't have any bits stuck to the inside, like I did in the crocodile one. The crocodile one had a piece stuck inside the bag. I'll just spread them out a little bit. Alright, so move the book down. I've got a nice area to set up in here. And then we'll get going on the hyperlapse. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so getting into the build so far, that bit of a lapse there. So from what I can see so far, we've got a 90-degree drive. It's not so much a differential like it is in the bigger one, where you can spin one wheel and the other one spins the opposite way, which signifies a differential. Not too sure why they've done the twin thin technics pieces like these in there, when you could actually get away with a solid piece, solid one like that, instead of having two in each one. I'm not too sure what the idea with that is. All you needed was a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 long one of these to put in there. So it's sort of a bit of a strange idea, that one. And when it comes to the pistons really, yeah, they're pretty average, considering the crank's not even joined to them. So all it is as you drive, they just pop 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 like that, which is not the right configuration for the engine or anything like that. When you look at the other engines, they all run the proper configuration where they do a better firing order, and yeah, the actual pistons don't just fall out of the engine like that, where nothing's touching. So the car has to be in that orientation to drive properly. I mean, it's a simple way of doing it, but even when I was in my teens, the one that I got, the VW chassis rail, as I said before, that only has 4 cylinders, but they all are opposing each other because it's got the boxer motor in it, and they're all running on a crank and they get drawn back in again. It's even got a 3-speed gearbox, but yeah, so I know this is a cheaper set and it's a smaller set, but I thought, you know, maybe at least if they had some little weak springs that went inside here, because it's got the tab down there, put a tiny little spring in there which holds them down, give a bit more pressure on it, sort of thing, so it'll give it a bit more of a flick. But yeah, it is what it is. So I've just position 37 here, we're going to be going on to this one, and yeah, we'll keep going, but I just thought I'd have a stop and look inside there, because that's the actual motor going up and down. Only one wheel will drive it, the other wheel that's going to be on this side here is just a freewheeling wheel, which is, yeah, a little bit average. And I'm not too sure why they put 2 of the axles in here instead of using these pieces, where you got the axle part that'll go in and then the locking piece that'll lock into this bar. Seems a bit of a strange setup. There's a couple of strange things they've done on this one. I'm not too sure why. I thought they might explain themselves later on, but nothing can join to that, and well, that's the motor build. But still enjoying it. It's a very intricate little build, so we'll carry on and finish off bag 1. Alright, so that is the end of book 1. Got a few spare pieces, which always seems to scare me for some reason, having spare bits like that many of them anyway. I think, what have I missed? So basically that's done is made the back end, the engine, the drive, which is only driven from one side as I discussed before. Makes a pretty cool sound doing that anyway. But the beginning of the steering, there's not very much of a steering lock. The other ones that I've made normally have 2 of those pieces in the bottom there. Well, they're actually normally just geared, pushed down onto a flat plate. But I suppose once it's going to be a fairly substantial sort of steering, so that gives you an idea. That's a wheelbase there, back axle, front axle, rear bumper, and possibly the front bumper here. So it'll probably extend out a little bit at the back here, having all the rest of the bling on the back and the bumper and everything. So once it's all together, very fiddly build, but once it's all together, it seems to be very solid, all locked together. Still got this bit to mount on. I'm sure it's going to work out what's going to happen there. The one thing I am finding with this set is pushing the pins in. They seem to be extremely hard to push in, and if you've actually got to push one of the axle parts in through, say, one of these parts here, it's like the finish inside, there's a latch in there that you got to push through and almost break to get the axles in. So it's not like the old style where you could just push them in. There was always a nice smooth fluid sort of push. This set seems to have a bit more of a clunky feel to pushing the locks in and latching them together, but still it's turning out to be a fairly substantial car, and I like the colour scheme to it and everything like that. And besides a couple of little faults that I not really keen on with that, but other than that, I quite like it. The seats are a very different style, so there's no way you're going to get a Technics person to sit in to one of those very smoothly, that's for sure. It's a rather small set for these, so maybe they should look into making smaller Technics people that will actually fit into these types of models. So we'll be on to book 2. I keep saying book. Bag 2. So bag 2 is going to consist of that small bag. I have found that keeping them to one side can be handy because you need them later on sometimes. And big bag here, containing a couple of smaller bags inside. So we'll put that one open. Oh, flexible ones. I don't know why they're not in with those ones. So we've got a small bag of goodies. Make sure they're all out. There's that one. And then I've never worked out the actual consistency of these bags, because you think one would be all these locking pins, but this has actually got these bits in it, and this one's got the same bits but they're smaller in it, so I don't understand. I don't know if anybody can explain to me what the setup is that they have. Oh, there's another smaller bag again. Yet again, the same sort of thing again. Lots of these pins. There's a lot of these lock pins in there. In case you're wondering what that sound is, that's the snore of the Digby. He's laying just down there under the table. I'll pivot the camera a bit, you might get a glimpse of him down there. Not quite. There he is. The Digby. Try and position that back again. There we are. And get the big bag out. What have we got here? Any special goodies? Yeah, see, look, we've got these special parts that I've never seen before. One of those rubber ones, for some reason, comes in there. Oh, look at that. Steering wheel. Alright. So we're all set up. Ready to go for bag 2. I don't think we're even halfway through the book. Oh, getting close. About 1/3 through. I'll get my maths working in a minute. So we start building up here and we start making the outside frame. And yeah, we're going to be building up all the back end of this one now. So mainly concentrating in this general area here, from what I can see. Let's see how we go. Let's get into it.
It's too late now, I remember every scene. 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 It's too late now, it's too late now. It's too late now, it's too late now. It's too late now, I remember every scene. It's too late now, I remember every scene. It's too late now, I remember every scene. It's too late now, I remember every scene.
Alright, so that was bag 2, which made, like I said, all the back end of it. We've got the steering in there. Still haven't got a steering wheel up here. It's going to be up in the very top here to control the steering. You can see the steering all working still there. So basically bag 2 was getting all that done and putting all the decals on, getting the back end all set up, looking pretty nice and neat. Very solid, very heavy model. So not much else in the technical side of things for bag 2. It was more all of the body work. I got to put the bendy parts in there. A bit of flexible bits around where the wheels go, makes it finish off quite nicely. And the stickers on there, it's coming along quite well. There's bag 3 to go, which will be all of the front end here, as you can see, all the front end, the panels for over the top here. This is still a bit floppy, so I dare say that's going to get involved. The steering, yeah, no suspension in this one. The bigger models have suspension and everything in there, so this one's just a solid sit, but quite a nice build. The only thing I am having dramas with is how they're setting up, like as you probably saw with these ones here, the 2 pins together. When you try to lock them together, I don't know, I think the actual pins might be spread too far apart from Lego these days. These parts here getting a bit too wide. When you go to push on these Technics bits, they tend to bind up rather than clip on like they used to with the older ones that I'm used to. These blue ones, the little ones, singular ones, don't have an issue, they just go straight in, but they also are a little bit narrower than what these ones here. I mean, I know these ones have to hold steady when they're in there, whereas these ones just go in and they're not actually holding anything together solidly, they're just there, well, to mount things onto. So obviously there's going to be a panel or something sticking onto here, so they act as little studs to give the clutch power there, sort of thing. But other than that, it's looking pretty damn good, and I'm glad I got this model because it wasn't that expensive compared to some of the other ones that I've got that were quite expensive and not as intricate as this. But yeah, it's coming along quite nice. I think it's going to be a nice little addition to the sets. So we've got to put that one to one side, and we're going into bag 3, which involves another little one. Pull that one there out. And the big one. The big one yet again contains 2 small ones again. Still not too sure what that is, but they do. I'm waiting for the day that you open up one of these small bags and it's got a smaller bag inside it. There we are. Well, there's not a lot to go because this is, oh, we've got 2 different size rims, look at that. Rear rims and front rims. There's the body panels I was talking about, do the covers, 2 of them. Oh, this one's already got the stickers on it. I wonder why some have the stickers on already. There we go. Probably be an interesting one to try and stick on yourself, that's probably why. So, all set up for bag 3, which should do the front, the wheels, and everything else. So, starting straight on, we need the model here as well. I'll put that just there. Getting the stickers on were quite interesting. It's quite good because they've got these points, so you can sort of line the points up, which gives you a good line to run through. It wasn't too bad. I think some of them could have been a little bit better, but I did alright, I think. So we'll see how we go. These ones here we're going to be all on the top. Yeah, I like how they set the sticker sheets out that actually match up to where things are on the car. Quite a good idea. So we'll get into bag 3, and that'll be the other third of the book. So we got 220 stages, We're up to 159. So we'll get into it. Well, there we are, all the way through. And at the back, finished bag 4. Put a little steering wheel on the top there, so now we can actually turn the steering. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to have much of a turning circle, which it doesn't really, but that's not a big deal. Quite a good build. The biggest problem was putting the these pieces into the actual Technics parts. This one's not too bad like this, but going in, you probably saw me struggling trying to get some of these pieces together. I don't know if it picks up on the time lapse or not, but also having all these pieces left over, I always go back through. You probably see me flicking back through every now and then going, why? Because I see that we've got an extra piece here or something like that, and I'm like, have I missed it from somewhere or what? But no, seems to be everything there. But all together, you can hear the motor going away as it drives around. You can see the motor inside as it's going through. It's only one wheel drives it, but you can probably see them. Not too sure if you can see that or not. Yeah, I quite like these rubberized axle parts that can be bent around like that now. So everything seems to be there, and the reason I bought it was mainly for the intricate parts at the back. I think that looks quite neat, especially all these angled parts that have been put onto it. They all finish it off quite nicely. So when you compare that to the green McLaren that we had up here earlier, if I move all this stuff out of the way, grab that. I've just realised that this actually has those bendy parts in it. There you go. But there's a slight difference in size, that's for sure. And like I say, the bigger ones have actually got suspension on them. Everything moves. And the steering on this is a lot bigger turning circle and stuff like that. But this is also a lot more expensive and a lot more involved model with a diff. But when I spin this one way, the wheel goes the opposite direction, and then when they're together the motor actually drives, and that wouldn't have been that hard to put in there. They can make a smaller version of this, which has been around since I was a kid. Other than that, move that off to that side. So that's the model kit 42123, and yeah, like I say, this is probably half, if not quarter, the price of the bigger one, sort of thing. So I still think it's quite a good build, and quite impressed. A few things I would have done differently, the way they've pieced together some of them, but overall I quite like it. I always thought that that would have to be on the top side, not on the bottom side, but from the pictures I'm pretty sure it's, yeah, upside down that way. Thought you'd have that the other way around so you can actually see the stickers. But I guess from the actual car itself, yeah, the proper car has it going that way, but a bit more curved up so you can read it from the back. So it's probably something they could have done, was have that a bit more of an angle upwards so you can see it. I don't know if you can pick that up on the camera or not. Differences there, but they're done pretty damn well, I think. I think they've done pretty good. So yeah, that's the 42123 Technics McLaren Senna car. Hope you enjoyed that one.